Hi Dave. A couple days ago, a friend and I went to see the new Star Trek movie, and as you know, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I mean, it's one of the key reasons why I'm a physicist. Originally, it inspired me to go into astrophysics, but I've since strayed into biophysics because biophysics is so much more cool, but I digress. Not surprisingly, I enjoyed the new movie. I've never been a huge fan of the original series. I just find it too hard to look past the cheesy lines and the spotty acting and the lack of special effects. Somehow, I managed to look past those same drawbacks from one of my favorite series, which is The Next Generation. They have a lot of the same problems, but when you have Picard and Riker to stare at, somehow those problems are more manageable. But my favorite Star Trek series at the moment has to be Star Trek Voyager. It was filmed in the 90s, wildly popular, and featured the first female captain and some really strong female characters, and I'm just a huge fan. I'm almost done with it, which is terrifying. But I digress. You see, I wanted to talk about the new film. As fun as the fight scenes were and as cool as the special effects were, at the end of the film I was left feeling a bit let down. It started to feel like a boys' club. All the characters were just men doing manly things. And to back up a second, let me talk about how I went into the movie. So before the movie, there was 15 minutes of preview, which is my favorite part of the entire cinematic experience. The overwhelming majority of the previews featured tough men doing tough manly things. Men killing people, men being secret spies, men beating up people, explosions involving men. You get the picture. So by the time the film was starting, I was already left feeling, okay, but where are the women? Where are the awesome, tough women doing tough things? Now in the movie Star Trek Beyond, there were two main female characters. First off, you have the one I can't pronounce, Uhura, who's this really strong female character, and I love her. She's obviously from the original series. Okay, then there was this female alien who helped the crew out, and here is where I really felt like the movie let me down. The producers and the directors were working on the constraint of remaking this TV show, which originally featured like an all-male cast. It's difficult to find ways to work strong female characters into it, but they had a chance with this alien character. She was a scavenger, she was this engineer, she was this amazing fighter. But I feel like all those promising qualities were quickly pushed to the side. Everything she accomplishes in this movie, she needs a guy to help her. She needs a guy to give her the be brave and bug up talk. She needs a guy to fix her ship. She needs a guy to fly her ship. Again, the male characters step on the ship, she becomes like the submissive crew member. It's her ship, but the moment Kirk is there, she gives him the captain's chair. She pushes herself to the side. It's their show. It's their ship now. She moves into the background and she becomes like this supportive character in her own narrative. She has her moments. Overall, she isn't a weak character, but I feel like this is where the movie had a chance to really throw in another super strong female character. Now, to back up 1 second, one of the underlying problems is that there was kind of this one chance. She was kind of like the one hope to have a strong female character in the movie. It's hard to represent women well when you only have two of them. The burden of representing like their entire sex falls on their shoulders, and that's not really fair to the character. And for a while I was like, well, you know, what can you do? I mean, the original series had all these male characters, but then I was like, wait, what can you do? Well, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. The remake of Ghostbusters kind of invalidates this idea that the Star Trek directors and producers just couldn't put more female characters into it and just had their hands tied. The Ghostbuster remake is what's called a gender bender, where all the genders are switched. And when you have this wide representation, a wide variety of female characters, they stop being the one-store representation of their entire sex, and they can really have their own personalities and not feel like they have to represent their entire gender. You can really paint a comprehensive view of femininity and masculinity if you have a wide cast. Or a diverse cast. It doesn't have to be like a lot of people, they just need to be diverse. And obviously there's so many issues of diversity that we could talk about. We could talk about that we have, you know, one strong African-American character who's also the female character. She can't just be the token diversity character. You've got to work harder on the characters that you bring in that are new to the story. If you want to stay true to the original genders of the cast, you've got to bring in a lot of diverse characters to kind of make up for the fact that it was like an all-white male cast. The question people might be thinking right now is, well, why is this important? Movies and media in general create role models. Our media is currently filled with strong men doing brave things. We're showing society, we're showing all the people who are watching this that look what men can do. Look how courageous they can be. Look how self-sacrificing they can be, which is great. But we don't afford that same luxury to our female characters. We don't have these female characters showing the audience, showing kids and adults, like, look how brave women can be, look how badass they can be, look how courageous they can be, look how independent they can be. We don't have that, and that's the problem. What I loved about the Ghostbusters remake was that it showed women in these fields which are typically masculine. You know, we had the scientists and the engineers, and they were strong, and they were building things, and they were tackling ghosts. They didn't need men to show them how. They didn't need men to tell them to be brave. They were just brave. It's great when a girl growing up can watch these films and be like, hey, someone who looks like me is a scientist. She's an engineer. I can build things. I can go into these fields where previously the role models I saw in these fields were all men. By the end of the Star Trek film, I kind of felt like, well, no one who looks like me is doing these like adventurous, brave, courageous, badass things. Except for, you know, the one token female character. Given that our society is kind of 50-50, our films need to reflect that. I'm excited for the new Star Trek TV series because they have a really great chance to be as diverse as they want and to really, you know, go wild with this entire really cool universe that Gene Roddenberry created. Hopefully the new TV series won't let me down. I mean, we've seen what a Star Trek show with really strong female characters can look like, and it did tremendously well. We just need to follow that example more. The end. So yeah, that's a great way to end an episode. Is this a TV series? No, it's not. Like I said, I wasn't gonna film this today. I'm driving to Illinois like in an hour or two. I'm going to a biophysics workshop. They call it like a summer school, but anyway, it's 7 days where you work on a project, you learn these new techniques, and at the end of the week, you present the research you've done this week. It's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day, so I might be dead by the end of it. And then after that, I'm really gonna get even more hardcore into my qualifying exam studying because that's at the end of August, and I'm kind of stressed about, I'm quite stressed about those. Technically, I get 2 shots, so if I don't pass at the end of August, I take it again in January. So it's not like the end of the world, but it is obviously really important. And there's just a bunch of stuff I need to memorize before I take the exam. But anyway, so I don't know how many videos I'll be making in August. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like. And then classes are going to start, and then labs are going to start. Really hard to plan. Like, I'm trying to plan a visit home because my brother just had a kid, and I haven't been able to see him yet, which is really a bummer because I was very excited to become an aunt. And I'm still very excited that I am an aunt. But I'm trying to plan a visit back to home, but I don't know what days I'll be to take off because I don't know what days I'll be teaching lab. But anyway, it'll work out. I'll edit this and surprise you with a video that does not address anything that you have said in your previous videos because that's how you vlog? Is that how you vlog? I don't really know. Have you seen the new Star Trek film? If so, what did you think? Wow, I just felt like Jeremy Johns there for a second. I don't even know why. I know that you know him, so that reference will make sense. But have you seen the new Star Trek film? If so, did you notice the lack of female representation? Is that something that bothered you? My friend who I watched it with, it didn't bother her at all. She is a huge fan of the original series, so like maybe she probably went in fully expecting what she was going to get, where I have kind of been spoiled by Voyager, so I went in being like, okay, let's see some like strong female representation. And then we really didn't. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions, and I have got to go turn on the air conditioning. Okay, bye.